Hello, and welcome to One Man, One Goal, One Vision, Part 3. Now, hopefully, nothing went wrong last time, because these are just being recorded back-to-back and all that kind of thing. So yeah, hopefully everything's all nice and dandy, otherwise we're going to have 2 parts in a row with some sort of problem. And that seems to happen every time, so yeah, basically par for the course. So next things next, we just go ahead and strip Leonard of all his stuff. I'm sure he appreciates it. Everybody appreciates being, a little bit of freedom of movement every now and then. But we're going to go ahead and move on. So Golborza doesn't take a whole lot to get through, but Brezin can still be a bit of a situation. So thing is, Brezin can't be beaten even with this big of an advantage. He can't be beaten while his healer is still alive. We haven't gotten to the point yet that we can actually mitigate healers. That's actually a big part of Chapter 1, and part of the reason that we want to get to rank 8 proficiencies and we want to start working on Ogs. So like I was mentioning last time, goal by the end of Chapter 1 is roughly rank 6 to 8, wherever that lands up as far as proficiency goes. At least augment air and parry. So with all of those in hand, we'll basically be able to start actually making some progress. In terms of actually legitimately fighting stuff without a level advantage, because level advantage crutch does not last as long as you want it to. You might say like, oh, there's plenty of time. You got plenty of classes with two-handers. You can take advantage of that forever. You can for a really long time, but that's the thing. Anytime that you need to reroute to go pick up anything, anytime that you need to work on some aspect in particular, you need to use some of those levels, and quite frankly, it's good to have a little bit of a gap there. So roughly at any point there will be the option for about 10 or so fights to get one thing or another. But yeah, that can easily fly out the window at any time. So gotta be a bit stingy with what fights are taken when. Now you might be saying, well, why not take some of those levels right now? Well, that's because right now, for these first few, what I really want is to have a major level advantage to be able to hit griffins with some degree of regularity. Because yeah, otherwise we'll just be missing them the whole time. Even with a level advantage, we need a lot to be able to pull that off. So I need to make that happen. For another thing, well, I'm probably not going to try to go for the Nibith thing. It's very unlikely that I'll want to even attempt that, but in case folks request it or something like that, I might end up doing it. We'll see. Realistically, it's pretty unlikely. Like I said before, I've tried it at 16. He only scales up to 7. I've tried it literally taking almost every reasonable fight before Chapter 2, and still, it was still a major thing. Because he can just completely slap through whatever armor you can get at this point in the game. Reasonably speaking, you need to get something like Balder or whatever else to even stand a chance there. I mean, yes, one potential route would have been that hammer route I mentioned earlier, but that would have... That's definitely a maybe. So I know that'll come up as a question as far as whether you'd be able to pull that off. So 2 things, first of all. There's certain units you get at certain times that will be particularly locked to one particular item for their first time through. So, for example, if you end up getting the warriors up to whatever level, you may notice they came in with the full mail set that I ended up picking up, but they didn't have any better weapons. For the first chapter, almost all the ones they end up picking up are going to be stingy until New Game Plus. With Sarah and Voltaire, as far as I'm aware, being the main exceptions. The other ones will come in locked to whatever gear they're supposed to actually have. So, for example, when you end up picking up Ravenous or whatever else, she's not going to scale up or anything like that. If you were to say you were to use Felicia there to try to get better equipment, if it's your first time through and you've somehow gotten their level all the way up, you would end up getting their better armor. They would still have just a regular staff with them. On New Game Plus, it depends. Like in some cases, I've seen where they still had the staff. Other times, they came in with a fancier version of it. But there's still it's not exactly any equipment that they can spawn with. It's any equipment that would normally be able to drop by that point. So, for example, like I was mentioning earlier, the light and wind variants of the swords we wouldn't be able to pick up that way, but we can at least pick up the lightning one, so it's at least something. Alright, we got a Fool card out of that. That's not very good. What I want to do is avoid Brezen as much as possible. Just going to try to fight everybody else, see about getting a few cards. The casters shouldn't matter at all. We're only running 50% counter damage at this point, and honestly that's going to be fine for a while. I think even on my last testing run, I didn't end up picking up rank 3 counter until, I want to say it was like late chapter 4. Like, I ended up running 1 for the longest time, and then just went up to 2, and just didn't really have the points to spare, because, yeah, skill points are going to be a bit of a tightwad situation for quite a while. Alright, so casters, thankfully, haven't started doing insane damage yet. Gotta give that some time. I'm going to go ahead and slap that guy so that, yeah, there we go. Some of these guys will use leaves. Like, if it'll make a difference, they'll usually use leaves. If there's something for them to bother healing, they'll try to heal it if they have no better options. And if their odds to hit are pretty low, they'll usually end up just going for an easy heal instead. That's why a lot of times, like in the original vanilla run there, you probably noticed many situations where they're like, okay, you took one swing, hit like 3 people, and they're just running around slapping band-aids on each other for eternity. It's like, yeah, the AI has a certain panic factor when it comes to that, where they just want to mitigate damage somehow, but they know that they can't do anything significant by actually attacking. There's less of that this time, but there are going to be a lot of AI exploits. Delicious. Like, for example, one AI exploit that I absolutely found indispensable over the course of routing this. You know the left cleric on Tynemouth that sometimes spawns? If you can get them to spawn, you can essentially get rid of one of the units in that rando fight before it even starts. Because every time, they will run up and try to take a swing. Previously, they would try to go and hide, but because staff damage is higher in OV, they try to take a swing instead, because their AI says, hey, it's actually effective damage, go for it. And they do, and usually they end up just whiffing entirely, so you end up getting some free TP out of it. It usually takes only 2 swings to finish off any unit by that point in the game. So, realistically, you can expect to see some good stuff coming out of that. Now, we are getting to the point here where we're going to need rank 2 in order to make some progress, because as you can see, we're having a hard time finishing anything off, so what we're going to be fishing for here is a unit that we can hopefully finish off with a single crit, and then just kind of fish for crits until we get there. So that guy did a decent number on himself. Is that going to work? No. So we're going to go ahead and go for the archers next. The casters were probably the best choice, but we're going to go for the archers next. We have enough healing to make it out of all of this, so no need to worry about that. In case you're wondering, this is actually what the male set was for. This fight is absolutely atrocious to do in leathers, which, funnily enough, if you get the leather pants, they're actually better armor than the male pants. Well, okay, it's arguable, because they don't give you as much defense, but they do give you extra evasion, and they do give you... or no, was it... I think no, I think it's just a straight upgrade of... like 2 points somewhere. Anyway, guess what we just got? We got the Thing Go Dead move. Alright, so as you can see, insane damage right now, but that's because we have a massive level bonus. So we're going to go ahead and use that pretty effectively all over the place with Chapter 1. But that is the move, combined with TP+, which we'll get later, that will allow for actually making some progress on same level fights. So, for example, taking on Tynemouth and things like that, up to a certain point. We can never get past the equipment barrier on a solo run. So, basically the goal is always going to be to look for those particular pieces of equipment. Oh, wait, pardon me. I had a little bit of a burp-type situation occur. But yeah, this one's going to be pretty easy to clean up, so while I can finish them off right now, I'm just going to go ahead and go for all these other ones. Alright, we'll go ahead and go for the Splat here. Yeah, might as well go for her. Just because he's going to go ahead and go for melee, which will give extra proficiency, which is always good. So we're going to want to be working on that. Continue facing this card. It's a Magician. That sucks. We don't really need Int. There's really no point that we're going to be using it over the course of this run. But, I mean, I guess it's a stat, so sure, we'll take it. Actually, those some of those cards give unique bonuses. I don't remember which one gives you hover. I think it's still Wheel of Fortune. Honestly, I can't believe I've never actually gone and checked that now that I think about it. Alright, that guy just put himself into one-shot range. Good. Took our card. What a douche. I mean, whatever. It's fine. And downside is we can't take that swing now. I mean, technically speaking, could finish him off, take one step back, try to get out of caster range. I could either try to get out of caster range or get out of one of the ranges and go here and force him to take a front attack, but he can get around either side. No, if it's right there, then he wouldn't be able to take a back attack. Alright, you know, let's risk it. Took our card anyway. There we go. As long as he can't get that backswing, we're alright. We've got really good odds of... Oh, no, we've got stagger. Never mind, our odds aren't that great, but we should only be within range of... Yeah, just one caster, so we're fine. Unless he crits. If he crits, then we're dead. Miss, miss, miss. You dick. Okay, well, he crit. Somehow didn't dead, though. Thank you, male. Alright. Now, do we go for the finisher? No. We don't really have the opening for the finisher right now. But we do need some of this stuff. So we're going to go ahead and run backwards, popping leaves like a friggin' drug addict here. Let's see. He shouldn't be able to reach. Nope. Shouldn't be able to take a double turn. Thankfully, with most of the heavier units, they are completely incapable of taking double turns, for better or worse. That's something that we'll be abusing for the duel later on. Pretty much any route you go down, there's going to be a duel fight. Whether it's Vice or Lenar or either one of them again. But yeah, in this particular instance, whoever it is, it's just basically a situation where you take a counter, you take one swing, and then you come back and you take the finisher, and then that's going to be enough to win either one of the duels. You just basically got to keep resetting the turns until you get 2 turns in a row like that. Sometimes it's not even necessary, like especially with Vice, a counter and a finisher is usually going to do the job. When it comes to some of the other ones, it might be necessary, though. I say other ones if there's that many. Alright, let's go ahead and take the finisher here. See if we even need it. Man, it's a 1 damage off. Alright, whatever. No need to risk it. There's no biscuit for which to risk it. Gonna go ahead and give him the back there, because he's still gonna take a 55, but he probably wouldn't go for the bag in that case. Just because that particular one drops a glass pumpkin, and I want that. Not necessarily that it'll be super useful, but just in case there is a need for a glass pumpkin for some reason or another, I want to have it. So there we go. That makes sense. Okay. Go ahead and pop a leaf. We're just going to take a short move here. There we go, just pick that up. Hello, glass pumpkin. It's there. Can take it if we need to. Alright. And the nice thing about him having Berserk is even if you do end up taking this one-on-one to the point where he gets rank 2, you don't really have to worry about it. Just because he'll eventually just burn all of his points using Berserk. Because his accuracy's pretty crappy. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to run back here. I am going to go charging against some of the other ones there. But for the moment I want to go hang out by this rock so that he gets stuck behind it, so that I can kite going north and have a bunch of stuff in the way while also giving him pretty sucky odds of hitting. Kind of just screwed that up with a crit, but oh well. A little bit of extra proficiency. Also, the guinea pigs say hi. They say that I haven't fed them for a 17th time today. Why do you guys eat so much? I swear they eat they eat through all their food like nothing. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and have him face right. So yeah, that he'll if you have him face a particular way, they'll try to get on your flanks. Huh. Why are... Guys, why are you being so loud? Alright. But he took a short turn. Thankfully, it didn't matter that much. Alright, so we'll go ahead and charge on forward here. That's not worth the risk. That would give a little bit of extra TP to work with, but we're going to go forward here. One thing you will notice is that healing items take a surprisingly long time to use. You'd think from their relatively limited benefit they wouldn't really see as much of that, but no, they take a lot to use, seemingly. I don't actually know what the numbers are, but I do know that more often than not, you can find yourself in a position where it's better to just charge forward because, well, you'll wind up getting more than a little bit stuck otherwise. So we can take out the healer, we can take out him, we can take out him. I'm going to go take out the actual main damage source here. Just because he's the one providing some of the pressure. No card out of him. Just so it's out there, the type of unit that ends up getting finished off has no bearing on what card they actually drop. It's completely random. So if you are ever hunting down dex cards by going after all the archers, yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. That's what I thought my first time through, but no. Alright, slowing himself down with that Berserk a little bit more. Really glad that they do that. I'm going to go ahead and probably go here, because I need to build up meter to do that finisher again. You might think it's not worth it. It's more worth it than you think. Now, we're going to be getting extra points because we only have one unit in the fight. So if you didn't know, they're always spread among all the units that you brought in. But you essentially still get more if you bring in more units, and realistically, they really needed to have less benefits for fighting with one guy. Because for as many benefits, or rather as many detriments as they try to add to that, it really does give you a surprising amount of benefits as well. So there we go, put on that leaf. We probably could use one of the plumes here, but it's not worth it for now. The budget for those things gets a little bit squeezed by the end of Chapter 2. Like, Chapter 1's pretty generous with the amount that it gives you. Chapter 2, you're left almost broke for most of the chapter. And then, once Chapter 3 hits, it's kind of all over the place. Okay. So we haven't gotten to the point where... No, I guess we have. Now, she is guaranteed not to attack again next turn. So another AI exploit that will become useful over the course of this run is when you know there's a caster that has a staff, and you don't have a way to block Shackle. One thing that you can do is make sure everybody's healed up. Run next to that unit. Make sure that they have less than 100 TP, and then essentially use that little window to make sure that they take a swing, because the healer AI cannot attack 2 times in a row. Noticed that a while ago. It's pretty exploitable. So if you're ever having an issue with getting hit with a Shackle finisher over and over, which they almost all will have about halfway through the game, it's a nice way to make sure not to run into it. Also, any kind of scrolls that I run into, I'm just going to automatically learn. No real sense in not doing that. Most of the White Knight's abilities you can end up picking up along the way. Same thing with the Dragoon. Going to end up training a little bit with them later. But we'll see how well that goes. So, at this point we can start taking some risks, because we're really just hunting down that archer. So the nice thing about going back and forth with this guy, by the way, is you're essentially getting double proficiency, because you're essentially getting experience from him swinging a two-hander, as well as blocking with a two-hander, as well as taking a counter with a two-hander. So nice little XP drops there, and we're almost making it up to rank 3 there, so... I'm gonna go take a few leaves to this guy to make sure that he keeps fighting. Oh, I want that, but I can't have it. Wrong class. I need to be a Berserker, dang it. That's frustrating. That's really frustrating. It's right there. It's the best card that I can get. Well, I guess Strength is really nice, too. You might be saying get knocked back into it, but no, that's not how that works. Do I have any... no, I haven't picked up any new cards. Well, poo. Whatever. Let's friggin' take swings at this guy, I guess. Oof. Alright. Not ideal, but whatever, it'll work. Block? Yes, block. Alright. Also not ideal, but screw it. That's gonna be the entire run, quite frankly. Not ideal, but it worked. For a second there, I saw defenders running like, what? I got Daedalus Gauntlets in the first fight? How did that happen? If only. Alright. So now we pick up some new goodies. So as you can see, damage is starting to get up there. Those little piddly leaves ain't doing jack. So what we need is we need that. We need Field Elk. So we already have Field Elk. We'll go ahead and slap that sucker in right there. And then next thing we're going to be going for is right over here with Parry. And yeah, it's a little bit expensive, but we'll be able to pick it up after next time. After that, we'll need Rampart. Then we'll also need Augment Air. And then we'll want Vigorous Attack. So we're not picking up Mighty Strike, saving some points on that. But yeah, that's more or less going to be our route there. I want to be turning a parry as early as possible, especially when you have relatively harmless units running around. So yeah, no seeds to actually use yet, unfortunately. So we'll, I guess technically speaking, we could route for a parry there. Well, poo. Oh well. So, funnily enough, it is possible to save sustain on this fight. I did so on accident before. It's not a good idea to. Because, yeah, no. We're not going to be doing that. Because, yeah, it is very possible. He can just kind of get up all over Bolus's face due to the fact that everybody's naked. They're just going to be charging your guys like nobody's business. But it's just not worth it. She's going to end up taking some extra levels. Going to take experience that we're going to need for later on in the chapter. Because, again, it's once we hit Chapter 2 that we're going to start trying to avoid experience as much as possible. At least for a little bit. Then we'll pick up with actually needing some of that stuff in Chapter 3 again. It is a very long road to get through this run. And yeah, the nice thing about OV, though, is that she will absolutely dominate as far as this fight goes. She's going to go around crushing things like nobody's business. That guy's going to drop some Beastmaster marks. At one point, I had routed in a Beastmaster when I was originally doing the whip route, with the idea being less to actually get the whip there and more. By the way, I'm going to start one-shotting Cashwa now for the extra experience. But anyway, at one point I was going down that route. The problem was the whip without augments, and it would have been a long road to actually get a elemental whip, but without augments, it was just shy of being able to finish off a lot of units, which ended up limiting the actual routes through different fights. And especially when it came to stuff like Oz, that was just a complete no-go. Just without an elemental plus augment type situation going on there was no beating that guy with a whip faster than he could heal. Because in some cases where it's some of the harder bosses, you need to be able to get into places you wouldn't otherwise be able to get into. So we'll see how all that ends up going. One of the reasons that I ended up keeping a Dragoon in the route actually was partially because of that, because of the Dragonfly ability, because it basically allows you to more or less jump one tile regardless of height, which doesn't seem like it would do much. But for example, in the Oz fight there, you can basically run up the stairs for your first turn, just use a ginseng, then go and use another one. And then essentially use Dragonfly, get up the first wall. Second turn, you do the same for the second one. You can get up there. You can start just completely wrecking havoc with all their archers and casters and everything. If you get crits, you can basically just one-shot them if you did everything right. And especially if you're going in with a level advantage, it's a really good way to do it. So either way, there was a lot of potential there for shenanigans. Okay. So anytime that we run into another two-hander user, by the way, we're probably going to try to do the same thing of kind of trying to get a few extra proficiency points out of them. There aren't too many bosses that do that, but thankfully Galgasan has a lot of two-hander users. All right, so this guy's going to go splat, smush. You go bye-bye. Many of these guys have really high odds to drop bags more than cards, so I'm not really expecting to get much out of them. And if you're wondering why Sistina's doing so much better, and playing so much more defensively. She has a defensive AI, and she also comes in with a full evasion set. Comes in with a knife instead of a spear, and comes in with her ring there. As Rakes was putting it, basically she's supposed to be the fast one. She's supposed to be, the windy one between the group. It really doesn't make sense that she has a spear there. Like, in the original, it made more sense because they all had spears, and it was just a good defensive weapon at the time. But then, especially when it came to vanilla here, it just would not be the obvious defensive choice. Which, they kind of got restored to that role in OV, but, still, knife and dagger makes a lot more sense for her role of being a spy here. Because, like she says, she's basically there to get supplies and stuff like that. She wouldn't be lugging a spear around. Like, that's a fighting thing. That's not a sneaking thing. Gotta love those weird archetypes that don't necessarily make sense. Like, oh, let's sneak around with a spear or staff or something. It's like, no. That's not a good idea. You're gonna stick out all over the place. But yeah, knife and buckler, she could absolutely just, like, hide that under robes or something. So, yeah. Actually, one thing I would have liked to see more of is what existed in the GBA Fire Emblems. Like, where they have that whole thing where their, like, chest plate detaches, and they're always shown, like, all the three sisters are shown to have this, like, weird form-fitting kind of curious kind of thing, or quirks kind of thing. It makes me wonder, like, that would be hilarious if they just, like, pulled that off like a buckler. Granted, it'd be more useful attached to them, but still, an idea. So, now that they've got longbows, they're going to start doing a little bit more. Regular longbows are, like, they're going to... What was that? Huh. That was a weird noise just now. They're going to be pretty consistent. The siege variants are better. And by better, I mean scarier. So hopefully you're not going to be running into too many of those. But anyway, it's going to be a long road. It's going to be a very long road. But it's all optimized. It's all possible. Technically possible. As Mr. Vale likes to make fun of me for saying. It's still technically winnable. And that hasn't changed. Right, so not expecting much out of the rest of this. Probably gonna just see who ends up getting close while like little best friend guest down there ends up getting taken out, because they have to be gone before this fight's over, regardless of their amazing AI. All right, there we go. Look, we're totally trying to help. Not gonna betray you at all. We're the good guys here, or good guy, I guess. But there's only one goal in this team, and unfortunately she's currently getting in the way of it. Because we need to get level 15. Need it for reasons. Fantastic. Yeah, that was another benefit of hammers, by the way. Since they removed TP. What is going on over there? Hang on one moment. I gotta step away for just a sec. Okay, that was weird. Turns out all the weird noises were just my dog sitting there and being all suspicious. Oh, wait. So yeah, he's all surprised that she's with the people that she already said she was with. What a shocker. Who could have seen that coming? Alright. Stun Dragon. Hopefully he won't be able to do his tail whip move now. I think I mentioned this earlier, but one early route of this, the whip route in particular, Since that one has a really good dark scaling move, my plan was more or less to just sit in place in the Nibith fight, just find a way to become more or less immune to their damage, and just kind of sit there taking ones for absolutely ages, which, I mean, it's possible to pull off. If you can get a hold of a helmet and mail before the end of the chapter, get a massive level advantage, and then just sit there with a heavy shield, just blocking everything for ages. But the problem is, it's also kind of soft block at that point, because they really can't do enough to win the fight, at least not reasonably speaking. They can eventually get up there, but then I found myself in a position where I kept getting surrounded by ghosts and skeletons that refused to move. So then I tried smacking them away, which, by the way, there we go. Get the early game dragon parts. Those are still nice and handy. But yeah, I kept running into weird situations like that. Normally, if you're playing normally, they don't seem to try to surround and lock down one character as much. But yeah, if you're doing a solo run, they definitely seem to show that it's part of their AI to try to hold you in place. And you can kind of see here why I was worried about poison. So we're actually gonna no, we're not gonna retreat. A little bit worried, but I'm not gonna retreat here. It's like it's at this point that poison is definitely going to be more of a regular threat. Wait, really? But why though? That was a bizarre choice. He had perfectly good casting abilities, and he's like, "No, I'm going to smack him with my book. It's going to crumple up a page and throw it at him, real ginger-like." Well, gingerly-like, rather. Makes it sound like I've got something against gingers or something. Braxton, what are you doing? I don't know what he's even guilty about here, because I literally didn't even see him eating anything. He's just sitting around looking guilty. I have a feeling I'm going to find something missing out of a trash can or something. Alright. Smush. That looks like a devil card. For a second there, I thought it might have been a strength. Like, the reason that I always go and double-check the dark-colored ones is because the, what's it, I believe it's the wheel? Not the wheel. I don't know. Either way, the main strength card is really, really similar to both of the bad luck cards, which is kind of annoying. I mean, Tower looks really similar to it, but it's got more of a grayish thing. Strength has got a little bit of red on it. Is it Chariot I'm thinking of? Like, I think I'm thinking the wheel. We'll see when we see. And also, this guy really loves himself. He's just putting down statues everywhere. He's like, "Oh man, guys, check out how awesome I am. He can't finish me with one hit," he says, as everybody else is bisected in one swing. Why can't you drop a card, huh? Everybody else dropped... Well, nobody else dropped cards. Many of these guys are scripted not to, though. Probably not going to go for the bird. We'll see. Just going for a few easy ones here. It's probably going to be way too annoying to go after the bird in this situation. If I had a trained-up TK, though, to just blow up those things, that'd be fantastic. Oh, by the way, speaking of, the TK doesn't really come in terribly handy for a lot of the fights, but oh man, is it good for the ones that you can abuse, both poison and the shadow destruction move. It's like Shadow Break and Poison Cloud are just, you can do some good stuff with that. The main downside, though, is they can only be used on fights that you absolutely don't need to heal, or can just completely overpower the fight in, like, a turn or two. Because, yeah, they will melt. They will absolutely melt without an ability to heal. You might be saying, what about their lifesteal thing? That can keep them partially sustained for a little bit, but it's never more than a, "oh crap, what do I do now" move. Unfortunately, it's just, with its increased MP costs and everything, it's just not something that you can use that often. So yeah, ultimately, I found that you can kind of use it as a slightly improved healing leaf while also attacking, but if the other team has any means of healing at all, there's just not really a point there. But it can be useful in a situation where, for example, you throw out Poison Cloud several times, you put yourself in a position where they have to run around healing several units. Like, especially if you have a level advantage and you hit a bunch of squishies with it, especially archers, it'll put them into a position where just all their healers are too busy doing other things. This guy's hilarious. Like, oh crap, he's coming for me. Hide, put up walls. Man, there's some interesting accidental political commentary going on here, right? But we're not going to get into that. Anyhow, I'm just going to take some regular swings on him, just in case that archer or caster or whatever the hell he is decides to get close. I think he's a caster. Ding. Ting. Yeah, he's almost toast anyway. So, once we get Thunder Beast, it'll be very handy, just because you can, here, let's... we won't be able to make a move difference there anyway. Okay, if he decides to get close, then that'll be great. I'm gonna move right here. Hopefully he'll decide... Oh, you dick. That's got played. Oh no, he is an archer. I've not been paying attention, because he hasn't really given me a reason to. Alright, well, we're just gonna go ahead and just get rid of this guy then. No real point in bothering with that. He wasn't fated to die here. Well, he did, and so did his 8 or so copies. Funny note, there's a hard limit of 9 of those things at any given time. Of any variety. I got rid of the War Ring, not going to use that. We get enough War Rings and Defending Rings to be able to craft some better stuff later on. Still not going to end up using any of it. Oh well. So next we go to Fedok. Do that whole thing. We let Mr. Dude know that we're coming for him in the past. You were there. You forgotten why we're there? We'll be back to deal with you. Yes, you are the protagonist of my favorite game of the series. That doesn't matter. The run demands that I be at least slightly irked. Alright, then we get Ravenous. Then we remove Ravenous. Or at least we remove all of Ravenous's stuff. Basically just emulate all that creepy fan art that immediately came out once they were announced. Then we get our Zwei. Yay. And this thing will be pretty much our go-to for a very, very, very long time. Unfortunately, as you see right here, no helmet yet. The helmet is the thing that makes the difference at this point. I'm going to pick up some hard bracers, but yeah, the helmet's going to be the thing that makes the difference. Okay, we're going to need to do our big first mass sell here. Get rid of all this stuff, get a decent budget going, sell everything we don't immediately need. We will literally never need any of that. Only need one of each of these. Never use these. Might say it's a little bit short-sighted. Last time I was running around with a massive pile of stuff. No, just trust me, we seriously won't be using anything else. We won't be using shields, we won't be using these. It's a very particular route that we're going down. Get rid of all of those. Just on the off chance that I might need one of those for some reason. Now then, I want to have 35 of these. That'll be good. Go ahead and pick up about 30 of these. That'll be good until about Chapter 4. Plumes, let's go ahead and make sure we're up to about 40. Yes, I know I haven't even used one yet, trust me. We'll get there. Spend about 10 on those. That'll be fine. Savage Horn. Yeah, give me 2 of those. And then give me a Dread Knight. Yeah, there we go. Actually, let me sell a couple more things here. So these Lifeline Gems, I have no means of actually using them. So let me go ahead and pick up like 10 of these, probably 10 of these, or 20 of those, and pick up some Berserker Marks as well. Probably won't be using all of them, but they're there. Just for the hell of it. Alright, so that'll be that for now. That'll be part 3 done. Now, our next goal for this chapter, since we're already kind of going on pretty well here, so down here we're going to need to pick up Parry. Going to need the other one pretty soon, but that'll be fine for now. We're going to leave Counterhit on there. We aren't... Well, we're going to still need Field Alec, but at least we have Parry picked up for now. So we'll need to take on Lake Bordeaux. And then once that's all well and done, we can move on to other stuff. So, thank you guys for stopping by. Hope you have an awesome one. And, yeah, I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye. Oh, wait. I can't say take care yet, because apparently the recording thingy's stopped. What the hell? Hold on, it's frozen. Why is... Oh, please tell me it actually recorded some of that. Oh, no. Alright, well, I guess we can discuss some other stuff while it's considering what it wants to do. Because currently it consists of one gigantic black screen and one little thing that's smushed into the corner. The thing is, I don't actually know what my start and stop buttons are for this thing, so that doesn't really do any wonders. Okay, there we go. The main screen-looking situation's back. And, oh, there's my button. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys for stopping by. Take care. Have a good one.